Hello everybody and welcome to more of my big, fat, stupid holiday spuffle. This is Gun Sage as always, and what in the hell are we gonna play? Been putting this one off for a while because I haven't played it a whole lot. Wadjet makes some great shit. A goy came up to Rabbi Moish and said, "Why do rabbis always answer a question with a question?" To which Rabbi Moish replied, "Why not?" The night sky above Manhattan will never win any awards. The few stars visible looked lonely and desperate. I could relate. Sometimes the line between salvation and damnation is a mighty fine one. I no longer knew which side I stood on. There being those who would say I had no business being here. They may be right. I'm no longer sure what I'm doing, but I'm fairly sure I know who I am. Shivah, or Shiva, or Shiva, or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. Doesn't matter. Let's get moving. It began, as many things do, with a song.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra lied nasa v'cheltso kol atzai melech shemo nikra.
His final note faded off into the near-empty synagogue, unheard by anyone. As I had 100 times before this, I got ready to speak. And as I had hundreds of times before this, I began to wonder why.
Thank you, Cantor Kaplan. Today in my sermon I'd like to discuss suffering. Why do bad things happen to good people? Wherever there is pain or oppression or poverty, the question is always the same. How could God let this happen? Is God as good as we think? Can he, in fact, do evil? Maybe, on occasion, he even enjoys inflicting pain. I
took a good hard look at around my world.
No.
And then it hit me.
I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Rabbi?
You heard.
Huh? What?
Go home, Mrs. Raymer.
Is it over already?
Yeah.
Rabbi Stone, wait! You can't just stop.
Sure I can. Just watch me.
But
It's over, Josh.
you can't mean that.
Look, you're a good kid. You've got a good voice and a good future. Don't let me hold you back. Now do a mitzvah and call Mrs. Raymer a cab. Goodbye, Josh.
Ethical dilemmas have plagued the religious leaders since the dawn of time. But morals don't mean crap without personal experiences to back them up.
Services are canceled. Go away. I said go away. Leave me alone. Fine, I'm coming. I thought I told you to go home.
Rabbi Stone, there's someone here.
Tell him to get lost. There's no service tonight.
No, it's a cop.
Huh?
Detective Sam Durkin, Midtown South Precinct. Could I talk to you for a few minutes, Rabbi Stone?
Is there some sort of problem, officer?
I'd just like to ask you a few questions.
Fine. Josh, take a hike. So, what can I do for you? I assume you're not here to convert.
Are you familiar with a Mr. Jack Lauder?
Should I be?
I'm asking the questions, Rabbi.
Fine. Let me think. Lauder. Lauder. Oh.
You know him.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about him?
He used to belong to this congregation.
Used to, but not anymore?
No. Left about 8 years ago, I think. What's this about?
Have you had any contact with him since?
No, I haven't. Care to fill me in here?
Do you read the papers?
Not recently.
So, you're not aware, Rabbi Stone, that Jack Lauder has been dead for 3 days?
I did my best to control myself. I knew this man's type. His eyes scanned my face like a barcode reader, trying to read every telltale sign of emotion. Any flicker, any twitch, could be used against me later.
No.
Does that bother you?
Should it?
Answer me, Stone.
No.
So, you and Mr. Lauder weren't close?
No, we weren't. What's the deal, Durkin?
I've seen Lauder's will. He left you a significant amount of money.
He did what?
You heard.
How much?
I don't have the exact amount, but somewhere in excess of 10,000.
Bull.
It's the truth.
Jack wouldn't give me bubkiss, let alone $10,000.
And why is that, Rabbi Stone?
He just wouldn't.
Huh. This temple's in pretty sad shape, isn't it, Rabbi?
Well, you're not blind, that's for sure.
Can you afford the repairs?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Detective Durkin. And if that's all, I suggest you leave.
Rabbi Stone, you didn't answer my question.
Life's full of disappointments. You'll get over it.
Rabbi Stone,
Get out of my office.
listen.
No, you listen. I know where this is going, and I don't like it.
I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, you're a real mensch. Get out of here.
Fine. I'll leave, Rabbi Stone. But I'll be back.
Yeah, I bet you will. Putz.
The rain beat in a regular staccato rhythm against my window, but I could only hear one thing. Jack Lauder. Jack Lauder. The name pulled out a cork in my brain, letting loose old thoughts and memories that fought and struggled for supremacy. Jack Lauder. It was more than just a name. It was a link to a time when things were simpler. A time when I thought I had it all figured out. A time when morals and ethics meant something. A time before it all turned to crap.
I need to think.
Josh set this computer up a few weeks ago. He claimed that I needed to join the 21st century and connect with the community. Josh has been bugging me to start using it. I suppose now was good as time as any. If only I could remember what Josh chose as my login and password. RevNet New York, where Jews connect. Okay. Let's try RevNet. Okay. Okay, well, I'll end that for now. Would you not leave it in your desk drawer or something? It might be in the papers. What was I going to do with them? Pay them? Just bills, lots of them. As much as I would have loved to break open a bottle of kiddish wine, I didn't think it was appropriate. Move your mouse to the top of the screen to access your inventory menu. Thanks! Rabbi Russell Stone, Benai Ben Zion, 190 Essex Street, New York, New York. Rstone at... Okay, well that's probably his login there then. Rstone at ravnetny.com. But that's probably not his password. Let's see, what was it again? Rstone at ravnetny.com. Damn it! At newyork.com. Damn, okay. You know, really, this is what sucks about having a really bad short-term memory. Oh, I'm sorry, am I supposed to capitalize that? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so rstone at ravnetny.com. Let's try it again. Seriously? You fucking... You gotta be kidding me, man. You gotta be kidding me. What am I missing here? Rstone at ravnetnewyork.com. Whatever. Yiddish dictionary. Common Yiddish words. Meshuggah, crazy. Mensch, a helpful person. Momser, bastard, son of a bitch. Nebish, weakling. Shivah. Again, I think it's Shivah, it might be Shivah. Period of mourning. Oh, okay, so the game is a period of mourning. Okay, gotcha. Shikse, non-Jewish woman. Yenta, a busybody. Goy, a non-Jewish person. Okay. Okay. No clues. I had come across this quote some years ago, and had decided to have it printed and mounted on the wall. It read, "If statistics are right, the Jews constitute but 1% of the human race. This suggests a nebulous, dim puff of stardust lost in the blaze of the Milky Way. Properly, the Jew ought hardly to be heard of, but he is heard of, has always been heard of." Mark Twain, 1899. It was fine where it was. Crawl space. Small crawl space used to store old records. Okay. There was nothing up there I wanted to see. Nothing on the bookshelf I wanted to read. My collection of rabbinical texts. Prayer books and Judaic history. And Harry Kemmelman novels. Okay. Photograph. Look at my photograph! It was fine where it was. A color photograph of Benai Ben Zion Youth Group Picnic. It was taken over 15 years ago. Most of those kids probably had families of their own by now. It wasn't the kind that opened. Okay. The window afforded me the thrilling view of the deli across the street.
Wow, Rabbi, what was that all about?
The detective had some questions for me. That's all.
So who was killed?
Josh, what did I tell you about listening at my door?
I wasn't, Rabbi, honest. You were just... very loud. So who was killed? Was it that Lauder guy?
We must have talked very loud.
Well, yeah. So who is he?
An old member of this congregation.
Ah, that's too bad.
Yeah, well, it happens to the best of us.
Are you gonna pay a Shiva call?
I don't think there will be a Shiva,
Oh,
Josh.
Shiva.
Why?
Okay.
Shivas are for Jewish families. Just forget it.
Alright, if that's what you want. I guess I'll go now.
Yeah. Good night, Cantor.
Night, Rabbi.
$10,000. Less than 20 minutes ago, I had accepted defeat. The bank was going to foreclose on the property and there was nothing I could do. Jack's money changed all that. The Benai Ben Zion synagogue could remain open. I wouldn't have to see my life's work turned into a shopping mall or a parking lot.
Has God answered my prayers?
The age-old question. What is the work of God, and what is the work of men? The money was a boon, there was no doubt about that. But it was blood money, and I couldn't believe God would work that way.
I don't like it. Not one bit. Why, Jack? Why me? Why now?
They say God helps those who help themselves. And I had done absolutely nothing to get this money. I didn't trust it. Suddenly, the cantor's words came back to me.
A Shivah call. I can't just barge in unannounced. But I can pay a Shivah call. It's the only way.
Okay. Yeah, I've already checked all those. This cabinet was converted into a makeshift Torah Ark after the last one was stolen in 1996. A sturdy, dependable podium, perfect for pounding during less successful sermons. The cantor's lectern contained its prayer book and song notations. Was that it? Was that all of it? I think it is. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Lower East Side, and that's it. Okay, so apparently I have to figure out that fucking, if you can call it a puzzle. There was nothing on the podium. The Torah Ark was locked up tight. Besides, I didn't want to tempt any vandals in the area. I had no need for the cantor's things. Alright, so how... I'm sure this is the login. But if that's the case, then why isn't it... I mean, it's R-Stone at... Maybe it's just R-Stone, you know? Maybe. Okay. Clue. Your password is busybody. Oh, I totally forgot what he had for that. Yenta. Sweet. Hello, Rabbi Russell Stone. Please choose an option below. Joke. Mush was talking about a psychiatrist. I had a weird dream recently, he said. I saw my mother, but then I noticed she had your face. I found this so worrying that I immediately awoke and couldn't get back to sleep. I just stayed there thinking about it until 7 a.m. I got up, made myself a slice of toast and some coffee, and came straight here. Can you please help me explain the meaning of my dream? The psychiatrist kept silent for some time, then said, "One slice of toast and coffee, do you call that a breakfast?" Nice. Martin Lewis converts and becomes a priest. He gives his first mass on a number of high-ranking priests who came for the occasion. At the end of the new priest's sermon, a cardinal goes up to congratulate him. "Pastor Lewis," he said, "that was very well done. You were just perfect. But next time, please don't start your sermon with fellow Goyim." Okay, let's see what we got. I got some mail here. Mazel Tov! Welcome to Ravnet, New York, the newest way to bring Jews together as a community. Our features here are small but growing. Here is a list of what we currently offer. The mail feature allows you to send and receive mail. The search feature allows you to search our data archive of Jewish news, events, and members. Everyone needs a laugh. Check out the joke feature for the best in Jewish jokes. On behalf of myself and the entire Ravnet team, thank you for joining and making our community stronger. Okay. Test. Hello, Rabbi Stone. I set up your account for you. Hopefully it'll work out okay for you. You can change the password if you want. Most people choose things like their mother's or their wife's maiden name, but I thought this was appropriate. Haha, Cantor Josh. Dear Rabbi Stone, I have been a loyal member of Benai Ben Zion for many years, but I can't bring myself to listen to your dark and gloomy sermons any longer. Times are tough enough for us Jews without you rubbing salt in the wound. Goodbye, Lisa Schwartz. Well, that's charming. For the best in games and entertainment, visit www... Oh, that's a shameless plug. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay. Rabbi Stone, I'm sorry, but my family and I can't attend your services any longer. Your last few sermons have upset the children so much that it took several hours to calm them down. What happened to you? Jeremy Brooks. Oh, boy. For your network protection needs, contact Tomo. Final notice. Due to continuing non-payment, your electrical service will be terminated if the overdue balance of $525.67 is not met by April 21st. Contact our office if you have any questions. Good Lord! Rabbi Stone, I've tried to have faith in you, but it's obvious that you are becoming increasingly more unbalanced. You call yourself a Jew? Our people need leaders! Regretfully, Sarah Applebaum. To Russell Stone, this is to inform you that your account is currently $1,893.43 into its overdraft. As you are aware, your account only has $1,000 for overdraft protection. Please submit the difference of $893.43 within 7 days so as not to damage your credit rating. Jesus. Alright, so we're looking for Lauder. Alright. Jack Lauder, 100 Jane Street, apartment 4E. Jack Lauder of Beth Tikva was found dead last night in his Midtown office. Victim of an apparent assault by a person or persons unknown. We at RavNet express our sympathies to Jack's friends and family. Alright, I think we've got what we need. I didn't see a phone there, so I assume that we just go. Greenwich Village, Lauder residence, okay.
Mrs. Lauder?
Yes?
I heard about your husband. I came to pay my respects.
Oh, you knew Jack?
Some time ago, yes.
All right, come on in. I'm sorry, you look so familiar, but I can't place your face. What is your name?
If I wanted answers, she'd have to know who I was. This required tact.
You don't remember me? 8 years ago? Rabbi Russell Stone?
Oh, I remember now. You have a lot of nerve coming here.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're sorry, are you? I'm so glad to hear that. Jack would love to hear that you are sorry.
He knows already, Mrs. Lauder.
Too late, Rabbi, too late. What do you want?
I'm not sure what I want.
Oh, really? You're just getting back in touch. Is that it?
Oh,
stop it. Just stop it. I don't believe this. You threw us out of your temple 8 years ago. And now you drop by for a visit?
It wasn't like that.
Well, what was it then? Can you tell me that?
Maybe this was a bad idea.
Maybe you're right. And yet you're here. Why?
Why would the police come speak to me, Mrs. Lauder?
I have no idea. What did they say?
That I'm suspect number 1.
Really? Well, that would make sense. Who else has a motive except for the rabbi who hates us?
Why do you think I hate you, Mrs. Lauder?
Enough. Do you have to do that here? Now?
God damn
There is
it.
a time and a place, Rabbi, and this is not it.
Look, I don't hate
Whatever. Jack hated you. That's enough.
Mrs. Lauder. If he hated me so much, why did he leave me $10,000 in his will?
That's impossible.
I said the same thing.
Jack wouldn't do that.
It's a crazy world.
How do you know for sure?
The police told me. I have no love of the police, but I doubt they'd lie about that. Mrs. Lauder, if Jack hated me so much, why did he give me so much money?
I don't know. This makes no sense. None of it does. Who would kill Jack? He was a good man.
Yes, he was.
Don't you start. You have no idea.
The police have no other leads?
Aside from you? No.
How did he die?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Well, I suppose I'm curious, and I'd like to help.
Help? Why would you want to help?
I don't know. Maybe I feel guilty. I can't take Jack's 10 grand without doing something to earn it first.
Why not? Why shouldn't a rabbi play at being detective? You want to investigate, Rabbi Stone? Be my guest.
I'll have to ask you some questions about what happened.
Can't you just ask the police?
They won't talk to me. I'm a suspect.
Fine, fine. Ask whatever you want.
Okay. Well, let's see.
How did Jack die?
He was shot right in the head at close range, according to the police.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Lauder.
He was in the showroom, working late. That's all I know.
What business was your husband in?
We were in business together. Fashion design, high-end casual wear. Shirts, blouses, slacks. I'd design and he'd sell.
Was the business successful?
We did all right. It was tough at first, but things have been picking up over the last few years. We sell to mainly boutique stores, but Macy's has bought several pieces from us, and Saks was interested.
And what happens to the business now? Are you going to run it by yourself?
I guess I could, but not right away. And definitely not in that same showroom.
I can understand that. Where is your showroom?
Why? Do you want to have a look?
It can't hurt.
Oh, this is crazy. Do you really want to do this?
Yes.
Sure, if you want to have a look, go ahead. Just because trained police officers couldn't find anything doesn't mean a rabbi can't. The building is 1407 Broadway, room 903.
You've covered up the mirror.
Yes, it's what you are supposed to do, right?
Well, yes, but
I know. I'm not Jewish. I'm probably doing it all wrong, but it feels right. Is it right, Rabbi?
it's perfect.
Thank you.
How are you holding up, Mrs. Lauder?
Fine. As well as can be expected.
What is the name of your business?
Charming Fashion Company.
Charming.
Yeah, it's a strange name, but it has meaning behind it. It's based on my family's name, Sharma, and it sounds like charming.
I get it. Real cute. Can you tell me about your company again?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Okay.
I'm going to leave now. I'll see what else I can discover.
Thanks, I guess. Rabbi Stone,
Yes?
about 8 years ago, could you just tell me why?
Were you and Jack happy?
Yes. Yes, we were.
Then my reasons don't matter.
Alright. Garment District. Charming Fashion. Hopefully, I'm still being recorded. I went ahead and killed my microphone while the answering machine was playing. I apologize about that. dressmaker's dummy. I wasn't that desperate for a larger congregation. Nice. This design board was the only spark of creativity left in this deserted showroom. I didn't know much about fashion design, but it looked like a skirt, or maybe a large shirt. I couldn't think of any reason to take it with me. Designs for some sort of skimpy sundress with some orders attached. They weren't relevant to my problem. It was a poster of some blank-faced woman in a hat. I made a snap decision not to start collecting old-fashioned posters. Are you freaking... Okay, seriously? This isn't my day, is it? It was a photo of Mrs. Lauder with a post-it note reading, "Don't forget anniversary flowers." I decided to leave it where it was. Paints, markers, and random junk adorned the shelf. I didn't need any of that. Okay, the computer's probably where I want to go here, but... the clothing rack was empty. I suppose Mrs. Lauder took everything away. I had no need for a clothing hanger. Alright, let's make sure. Yeah. Okay, computer's the only thing left. The office computer remained on the desk. I assumed that Mrs. Lauder didn't want to be bothered with it. That could be problematic. Sharma, maybe? Ah. Welcome back, Jack Lauder. Please choose an option below. Mail. Jack, that must be an oversight. I'll look into it. Hello, partner. I got those shirt designs done. I'll send out copies to the factory to get fit samples made. And guess what? I got them. Spent an hour on the phone with Telecharge, but I got the tickets. Orchestra seats, too. I'll meet you at the office at 6. No excuses this time. Love, Raj. Okay, that's... yeah. Yeah, Tomo. This is strange. The rates do seem unusually high. I'll look into it. How are you? Your goods are packed and ready to ship. Wire us the funds and we'll get to it on the next boat. Jay, your instinct was right. Something isn't right with this deal. All the wire transfers lead to different places and nobody answers the phone at any of them. My accountant senses tingling. Don't panic, Jack. I'll get to the bottom of this. See you at Temple tonight. Hello, hello? The fit model canceled again? Can't she be any more useless? Okay. We'll just have to find someone else. Don't forget, we're having a dinner at Goldwater's tonight. Love, Raj. Jay, call me now. We need to talk. E. Okay, I got you into this mess. I will get you out of it. I'm meeting with JDM tonight. Do not write him any more checks until you hear from me. If he wants to play hardball, he picked the wrong guys to mess with. Okay, JDM. A rotten deal. This was worth looking into. How are you? We are still waiting for your awaiting payment transfer from you. Your goods were taking up space in our warehouse. Please submit the monies ASAP or we will be forced to liquidate them. To Jack Lauder from RavNet Admin. The following message was undeliverable. The reported error was subscriber Arstano does not exist on RavNet. Ah, so he sent it to the wrong person. Messages as follows. Hello, Rabbi Stone. It's been a while. I hope I got the correct email address. No doubt you are surprised to hear from me. I'm not sure why I'm writing this either. I often think about what you said. It still angers me, but I can understand your motives. You looked at us and said, "Nothing is worse than when Jews turn their backs on one another." I can still remember that look in your eyes, sheer contempt, like we were the worst of sort of scum that crawled out of the ocean. I love my wife, Rabbi Stone. She is my partner in everything. I regret nothing. Nothing, that is, except you. I hated you. For years I hated you. We both did. I joined another temple with a rabbi who was willing to marry us and tried to forget about you. But when I found myself in trouble and in need of guidance, I could think of nowhere else to turn. You've called me a traitor once. Do you still feel that way? I've seen traitors. I've seen Jews turn their backs on other Jews. It's not pretty. It's awful. I am not like them. Time has cooled my hatred. Has it done the same to you? I need to speak to you. I feel like I am 12 years old again, preparing for my bar mitzvah and needing help with my Torah portion. I know I didn't marry a Jewish girl or go to temple every week or keep kosher or do any of the many things we're supposed to do, but I always have known that I was Jewish. Is that enough? I'm not a traitor, Rabbi. I have never forgotten that I'm Jewish. Jack Lauder. Oh boy. There were a lot of personal checks written out to a Joe DeMarco. That's probably JDM. Wonder who he is. Looks like Jack hired an accounting firm. I recognize the name. It was a clothing store. Evidently they bought products from Jack and paid for it properly. All cut and dry. There was nothing unusual here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Joe DeMarco. The payment went out to a shipping company. Nothing unusual about that. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Beth Tikva sounded like the name of a synagogue. Looked like Jack decided to stay devout after all. Okay, I think we've got what we need here. Combine clues by dragging one on top of the other. Okay. Well, JDM is probably Joe DeMarco. Joe DeMarco. JDM. That's gotta be it. Okay. Sure. Jack Lauder received a few urgent emails from an Ethan G. I need to find out more about this person. Alright. Well, maybe they're on Ravnet. Let's find out. Should probably also search for Beth Tikva while we're at it. In fact, I think I'll do that first. There we go. Beth Tikva Synagogue, 321 West 82nd Street, Chief Rabbi Amos Zelig. Alright, or Amos Zelig, rather. Joe DeMarco. Ethan G? Okay then. Joe DeMarco is probably a phony name if that's the case, especially if there's over 10,000 entries. Probably no more mail. Nah. How about another joke? Medical experts from London have published a paper that concludes that CEDAR participants should not eat both chopped liver and cirrhosis. Their research shows that if they do, it can lead to cirrhosis of the liver. Okay. Alright. Good lord. Upper West Side, Beth Tikva. A large, tasteful stained glass window surveyed the synagogue from its high vantage point.
I suppose it's okay.
Services must have just ended, as they haven't gotten around to putting the Torah away
I
yet.
can't believe they're just leaving it here for anyone to come in and take it. They must have dozens of them in a back room somewhere.
The cantor's lectern was an elegant affair made from a lacquered oak. Looked brand new.
Meh. I've seen better.
You jealous bitch. A tasteful podium of lacquered oak. It looked brand new and smelled of recent polish.
Meh. I've seen better.
Sure. Several of the photos showed a group of children sitting around a table. Two men flanked the children, smiling at the camera while like they've just won the lottery. A caption read, J. Silver and E. Goldberg on duty at Beth Tikva Youth Center. Ah, okay. So, who were the names again? J. Silver, E. Goldberg. Okay, that'll probably become important.
Yes,
You're the chief rabbi here at Beth Tikva.
I do carry that honor. So, what can I do for you, Mr.
Rabbi, actually. Rabbi Stone.
Well, fancy that. I can always spare time for a fellow rabbi. What brings you to our humble synagogue?
Humble, huh?
Do you know Mr. Jack Lauder?
Should I know Mr. Jack Lauder?
Don't you think you should know Jack Lauder?
Why do you think so?
Wasn't he a member of your congregation?
Was he?
Don't you know your own congregation?
Am I expected to know everybody?
Well,
Amos broke out into an angelic smile.
Are you finished?
I guess.
Wonderful.
He was a member of your congregation. He died a few days ago.
That's right. The funeral service was yesterday. I honestly don't know where my head is these days.
You conducted the ceremony?
Yes, his wife insisted on it.
Did she now?
If I may ask, what is your interest in Mr. Lauder?
He was a friend.
Was he? A close one? No, imagine not. Jack was a member of Beth Tikva. Not... what synagogue did you say you were from?
I didn't.
My mistake.
Is there anything you can tell me about Mr. Lauder?
I'm afraid not, Rabbi Stone. My congregation is rather large, and Mr. Lauder seldom attended services. I'm sure I don't need to tell you what that's like.
You certainly don't. Does the name Joe DeMarco mean anything to you?
DiMarco?
Yes.
Sounds Italian. Other than that, it means nothing. Sorry.
Do you know anything about Ethan G. meeting up with Joe DeMarco?
In all honesty, I have no idea who Joe DiMarco is. So I'm afraid the answer is no.
Are you familiar with an Ethan G.?
Ethan G? Is that his name?
Just an initial as far as I know.
Ah, well, nothing leaps to mind, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Good night to you, Rabbi Zelig.
Good night to you, Rabbi Stone.
Let's have a look at those photos again. Ethan Goldberg. Okay. Right. Ethan Goldberg and Jay Silver. I bet that's what it is. warm rush of triumph, I knew I found my man. Ethan Goldberg of Beth Tikva was found dead last night in Murray Hill alleyway outside of Patty O'Hare's pub, the victim of an apparent mugging. We at RavNet express our sympathies to Ethan's friends and family. What about Jay Silver? Okay then. Well, Yenta. Oh no, our stone, Yenta. Okay, let's keep it logged in, I guess. Right, let's see if that bar is highlighted on the map. And if not, we can at least go back to the rabbi. There we go. Murray Hill, Patty O'Hare's. See what we're working with. That wasn't the kind of graffiti with artistic merit. It was just some sleazy graffiti in the grimy alley. That wasn't coming off the wall without a tin of paint, a stripper, and an unenthusiastic youth group. Alright. Bartender's...
Excuse me.
The bartender glared at me with vague disinterest.
I'm looking for information on Ethan Goldberg. He was killed outside of this bar.
The bartender shrugged.
Do you know anything about it?
He gave me a glare that told me everything I needed to know about asking more questions.
Do you know a Mr. Jack Lauder?
The bartender rolled his eyes and began eyeing the other customers. It seemed that he wasn't a very talkative fellow.
I'm looking for information on Joe DeMarco.
He narrowed his eyes and glared daggers at me. I wasn't going to get any information out of him. But there was a flicker of recognition in his eyes. Okay.
Excuse me. Hello?
She ignored me. She seemed to be staring into space at something that wasn't there. In another place, another time, I might have stopped to help her. But people like her are a dime a dozen in this city. A large selection of wines and spirits lay on the shelves.
Great. Now even rabbis think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think you're crazy. Some old faded photographs were tacked to the wall. Okay. A poster advertising the latest rock craze adorned the wall.
No, I won't forget about it.
The woman seemed to be having a conversation. Yeah, seemed to be having an animated conversation with someone who wasn't there. Welcome to New York.
Excuse me. Hello?
Alright then. That's interesting. Maybe the rabbi will be more help for now. But this guy does seem to understand the name Joe DeMarco. Even though it is a phony name, I'm sure. Alright.
Yes?
I was hoping you could tell me something about Ethan Goldberg. I know he used to work here.
Ethan? Oh, what a tragedy. That man did wonders for this community. It's a shame what happened to him.
You know about his death?
Of course, I conducted the funeral service myself.
I recently found out that Ethan Goldberg and Jack Lauder did business together.
Really? I'm not surprised. Ethan offered his services to many people. He was a whiz with an editing machine. So I heard.
Okay. Anything else?
I was hoping you could... I know...
Ethan? What that means?
You...
Of course, I could...
Alright.
Really? I'm not. He was...
Do you know anything about Ethan?
In all honesty, so I'm a...
Damn it.
Good night to you.
Good night.
Is that it? I mean, really? That's it? So the infamous Ethan G was Ethan Goldberg, and he was connected to Joe DeMarco somehow. Unfortunately, Ethan was dead and couldn't give me any answers firsthand. Alright. Based on my discoveries, Joe DeMarco evidently had a meeting with someone named Ethan. We know that that's... Both Joe DeMarco and Ethan Goldberg were connected to this charming business in some way, but were they connected to each other? See, it's Jay Silver, so I'm wondering if that's supposed to be Joe Silver. Let's find out. This game certainly has a lot of legwork for you. It's not my favorite Wadget Eye game. Joe Silver? Maybe. No. I don't know, Silver? Moish walks into a post office to send a package to his wife. The postmaster says, "This package is too heavy, you'll need another stamp." Moish replies, "And that should make it lighter." Wow. Oh. Good times. Alright. I don't know, is there anything up here I can use? Yeah. The records are cleared out every few years. If I wanted information about Jack Lauder, I'd have to look elsewhere. Okay, fine, we know. I'm a little stuck. Okay, so the rabbi really isn't going to give me more information. Maybe Sharma can. Yeah, maybe she can. Ask her about Ethan Goldberg. Maybe she's heard of Joe DeMarco.
Mrs. Lauder.
Oh, it's you. Come on in.
Have you ever heard of the name Joe DeMarco?
Joe? Joe. Yes, I've heard of Joe. He was one of our first investors.
He invested in Sharman?
Yes.
Why did you need an investor?
Well, we didn't have much money to start the business with. All the banks saw us as a poor risk, so we needed independent investors.
Have you ever met Joe?
Jack handled the money stuff, although I know Jack didn't like him.
Why not?
He didn't say, he just didn't like him. But we were desperate, so we had no choice.
How did they meet each other?
I think they were introduced. At the temple of all places.
At Temple? So Joe DeMarco is Jewish?
Maybe. Why?
DeMarco is not a very Jewish name.
And that's important to you, is it?
Not to me, no. But it's certainly significant. You really think Joe DeMarco is Jewish?
I told you, I have no idea.
Sounds like mob money.
Do you know an Ethan Goldberg?
Oh, Ethan Goldberg. Yeah, I know him.
Who is he?
An accountant. We used him to handle taxes and complicated documents for the business. Not full-time, just on a consultant basis. Wait, is he involved in this?
Yeah.
Not anymore. He's dead.
What? Since when?
About a week or two ago. Murdered.
My God! What is happening?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Alright.
Do you know anything about Ethan G meeting up with Joe DeMarco?
I'm afraid not. If they met, I'm sure it had something to do with the business. Ethan was our accountant and Joe was our primary investor. Although I have no idea what they'd want to talk about.
Oh boy. Well, that's what leads me to believe that it's Joe Silver, or Silverman, or Silverberg, or something. Huh. Okay.
I'm going to leave now. I'll see what else I can discover.
Thanks, I guess.
You guess. Sure. I've only done more than the police have already. That's fine. let's see. Those things don't seem to be connected. Mrs. Lauder told me that Jack met Joe DeMarco at Temple. Did Ethan meet him there also? Okay. Well... That's what leads me to believe that those photos are still significant. J. Silver and E. Goldberg. If they met at Temple, then the rabbi should know something. Should.
Yes?
Did a Joe DeMarco ever belong to this temple?
DeMarco. That's hardly a Jewish name.
I know.
Although, it's difficult to say. As I told you, it's difficult to keep track of individual congregation members.
He was an investor in Jack Lauder's company. Does that mean anything to you?
I don't know. Should it?
No, I suppose not.
Boy. Okay.
Does the name... Yes.
Sounds other...
Alright.
Doesn't any of this strike you as odd?
Should it?
Two Jewish men, both in business together and both belonging to the same synagogue, are killed within 2 weeks of each other. A third man, who may or may not be Jewish, is nowhere to be found. There are only two connections between these three men. One is Jack's business, the other is this synagogue.
Rabbi Stone, I hope you're not suggesting anything...
I'm not.
Let me finish. People all over the world use religious communities to network and conduct business. This is nothing new. You know this, Rabbi Stone. If there is a connection, it has to do with their business dealings and nothing to do with Beth Tikva. I won't stand for our reputation being tarnished. Do I make myself clear?
As crystal.
I'm glad we understand each other. Now, if you'll excuse me, it is rather late.
I understand. I'll see myself out.
Wait, let me give you my card.
Nice.
Feel free to email me if you have any more questions.
Alright then, nothing else there for me, I suppose. Let's have a look at his card. That's really the only other inventory item we have. Rabbi Amos Zelig, Beth Tikva. Alright, so... Rabbis. I guess it's Rabbi Z, but it comes off as Rabbis. Let me email him? Amos Zelig. Yes, well, we have the contact information. Amos Zelig moved to New York in 1963 with his wife Carol and his dog Dodger. Since then, he has been one of the most prolific rabbis in the city. His wife and dog are gone now, but Beth Tikva remains one of the strongest centers of the Jewish community. Sweet. Really surprised. Let's just try Silverberg. That's probably wrong. Okay, what about Silverberg? I mean, if this is a real... Yeah, it's not. Yeah. That is interesting. Howard, a young gay man, telephones with his mother. Mom, I've decided to go back into the closet. I've met a wonderful young girl, and we are going to be married. What do you think of this news? You'll be happier now. I know that my gay lifestyle has been very disturbing to you. She responds, I'm very glad, Howard. I suppose it would be too much to hope that she's a Jewish girl. Howard replies, not only is she a Jewish mom, but she comes from a wealthy Beverly Hills family. So what's her name, the mother asks. Monica Lewinsky, replies Howard. There's a pause. Then his mother asks, what happened to the nice black boy you were dating last year? Oh, wow, dude. Oh, jeez. That's terrible. My Certificate of Rabbinical Studies. It reads, this is to certify that Russell Elijah Stone has been granted the title of rabbi by B'nai B'rith Yeshiva on the date June 23rd, 1970. I just find where it was. My diploma from B'nai B'rith Yeshiva.
Has it really been 30 years?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm kind of stuck, and we've pretty much reached our hour anyway, so... Save. And... let's end it. Yeah. Alright. I'm kind of the person that I really like adventure games, but I have a hard time playing them blind on camera. Well, number one, I don't like whenever the answering machine decides to be an ass and have the phone right here. I might have to somehow set that to silent whenever I record, because that's annoying. Mostly, I don't like to play them blind, because then you have situations where I'm kind of muddling around trying to figure out, in some cases, how to get out of the first room. I mean, I love adventure games, but, you know, it's really no fun to watch somebody muddle through their inventory for 30 minutes trying to figure out how to get out of the first fucking area. That's not really that enjoyable, you know. Yeah, Shivah's a pretty fun game from what I've played so far of it, and I'm going to keep playing it. Usually Wadget Eye games are, they can be beaten within a few hours. They're not very long. The Blackwell series, for example, and I think I still have those installed. Pretty sure. Yeah, I do. That's a really good series from Wadget Eye. And is detective and supernatural stuff and all kinds of stuff going on there. But they're very episodic. You can beat them in about 1 or 2 hours. They have a few achievements in them, so there's a little bit of replay value, but not really. And that's kind of the way Wadget Eye rolls. Even their, quote, longer games are really not even as long as the original Monkey Island, in most cases. That said, they do have a lot of quality to them. Good backgrounds, good environments, good animations, you know, the whole lot. So I highly recommend them, and Shivah is no exception. But, fun stuff. Probably the only game that I know of that has any Jewish context whatsoever. So, I mean, especially if you're looking for something that is a little more, you know, Judaic in nature, especially around the holidays, yeah, it might be something worth checking out. I don't think it costs very much either. So, probably no more than $15. And really, you get a pretty good amount for that $15 if it is 15. So there you go. Anyway, this is Gun Sage, and we've been playing Shivah for my big, fat, stupid holiday special. And I certainly hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to cut it here, and you have a great day. Bye.